Hey guys, hope you're having an amazing day today. My name is Steve. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Today I'm going to be right into a really short one, but I think this will be very interesting, and that is, does Europe have higher octane than America? You know, I've had a lot of people recommend that I check out this topic on my channel. Usually people are asking me to check out the differences between petrol in the UK and the US, but unfortunately I really haven't been able to find any videos about that specific topic. But I've had a lot of people recommend this specific video, and I'm under the impression that for the most part, the petrol in most European countries is probably very similar. And so I think whether you're in mainland Europe or you're in the UK or Ireland, I'm guessing that the octane ratings and the petrol in general is probably pretty similar. Please let me know in the comments if that's not the case, but that's just what I'm under the impression of. Anyways, guys, I have no idea what to expect here, but I've heard people say that the fuel throughout Europe and specifically in the UK might be better than it is in the US. I don't really know if that's the case. This is the first time I'm looking at anything about this topic. As for octane ratings here in the US, we generally have, if I'm under the, let's see, I think it's 87 is regular, 89 is mid-grade, and I believe is it 91? I believe 91 is premium. Yeah, and then obviously we have diesel, and every once in a while you'll see a couple of other options, very rarely, honestly. So, anyways, guys, enough rambling for me. Let's go ahead and dive in and check out, does Europe have higher octane than America?
Octane ratings. You see them every time you fill up your car, but what do those octane numbers actually mean? The octane rating essentially refers to the amount of compression a fuel can take before igniting. To understand this better, let's have a look at an engine. As the piston moves up to compress the air and fuel, the spark plug ignites the mixture and power is made. However, if the fuel being used has too low of an octane rating, it has the potential to combust before the piston moves all the way up and before the spark plug even fires. This is known as knock or pinging and causes the engine to perform inefficiently and causes a sharp increase in pressure at the wrong point of combustion, potentially damaging the engine in the long run. The octane numbers on the pump represent the fuel's resistance to knock out of 100. So
99, 97, and 95. Does anyone actually have this at their fuel pumps? That would be insane. Okay.
A 99 can take more pressure without knocking than a 95. This is why on higher performance cars that have higher compression ratios, aka the piston compresses more before igniting the mixture, manufacturers often recommend the higher octane fuels to prevent knock. So does Europe actually have better fuel and higher octane ratings than the US? The simple answer is no. Although the numbers are higher on European fuel pumps, the truth is that Europe just rates them differently. In Europe, octane is measured by RON, or Research Octane Number. This is simply a test that checks how much compression the fuel can take before combusting under pressure. So a 93 RON fuel combusts at the same point as a fuel made up of 93% isooctane, not prone to combusting under pressure, and 7% heptane, very prone to combusting under pressure. On the other hand, in the US, an average is taken of the RON number and the motor octane number. The MON number tests this knock level under harsher conditions and at more load, producing a lower number. The average of these two numbers is known as the anti-knock index, which is what America sees written on the pumps. So for example, a 93 in the UK could be equivalent to a 95 octane in America when adjusted to AKI. So Europeans, you can stop being so smug about having a 95 octane when it turns out we pay over double the price for the same stuff.
Wow. Okay. He just said a 99 octane in the UK would be the same thing as a 95 octane in the US. I've never seen a 95 octane. Now I know it exists, right? I know you have very high octane fuels, but I've just never seen it at a regular fuel pump. You know, it's like, I think it showed 87, 89, and 93 here. And I think that might be what I'm thinking. I generally just get the 87, to be honest. Sometimes I'll go 89 if I want to splurge, but you know, I don't drive a sports car currently, so I'm not driving something that I feel like I need really high octane fuel. I have in the past, but I don't currently. I think this is interesting. So, do you guys have 99 octane in the UK? What about the rest of the Europe? Am I correct in the fact that what you find in the UK is what you'll find mostly in the rest of Europe as well? I'm under that impression because the UK, just like the Republic of Ireland still is part of the European Union. UK was part of the European Union up until a few years ago. And so I assumed that pretty much all of European Union countries probably had roughly the same, type of petrol, especially when it comes to octane ratings. And now that the UK is no longer, in the European Union, I can't imagine that all of a sudden they just changed everything about the way they do petrol. So let me know in the comments, guys, what is your average octane rating where you're at? Whether you're in the UK or you're looking from Ireland or certain other European countries, I'd really like to know, is it across the board the same? I have never seen a 95 in the US at a regular pump. So I think the highest I've seen is a 93. And I can't remember if it's 91 or 93 is what we usually see for premium. It must be 93. I was thinking it's 91, but I do actually have another question about this. Not about the octane, really. That's interesting. But what do you guys generally call petrol? I mean, obviously, most people in the UK call petrol, right? But what is that the same across out through the rest of Europe as well? Do pretty much all European countries use the term petrol to describe the fuel you're putting into your car? Here in the US, I'm actually using petrol because I've kind of got used to seeing it from, on my channel and comments and stuff like that. But generally speaking, here in the US, I'm sure most people know this, that we would usually just say gas. We're going to go fill up with some gasoline, or we're going to go get some fuel or fuel up, something like that. So it's always gas, gasoline, or fuel. I don't think I've ever actually heard an American say petrol. And I know that's probably the most accurate term because gas can mean a number of different things. Like, for example, I have gas coming into my house here to heat the water heater up. So I understand the difference there. It's just interesting how, that's just what we call fuel that you get at a fuel pump or at a petrol station. But yeah, guys, this was interesting. But what do you think? Do you think that he says there is no difference? Do you think there is any difference in the fuel? Do you think we pretty much have the same the same types of fuel? Our octanes are pretty much the same. Our octane ratings are the same. I know that we do have, for example, we have British Petroleum, BP here, and I'm guessing that the BP we get at our gas stations, our petrol stations, is probably the same fuel you get at your petrol stations throughout the UK and Europe. But I don't really know that for sure. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you know anything else about the differences between the petrol in the US and the UK. But thank you so much for stopping by, guys. Please click that like button. Feel free to drop your comments or suggestions about this video or others. And don't forget to subscribe to continue to follow me on my journey to discover my British and Irish ancestry. Also, guys, if you have any other videos about this topic, please feel free to drop them in the comments. I'd like to kind of discover a little bit more about the differences between the petrol in the US and the UK or Ireland, if there are differences. So if you know of anything like that, please feel free to share it. But thank you so much for stopping by, guys. Until next time, peace.